Everything about the Passion narrative speaks about the pain, the humiliation of Jesus' death. It begins with the most appalling flogging that will have brought Jesus to within an inch of his life. It's a really appalling spectacle when you think about it.
Just crush his spirit as much as possible. But the purpose of the crown of thorns was to crush all Jewish aspirations that they would ever have self-rule.
I find that one of the most poignant parts of Jesus' life. To have anyone be mocked like that, it's very difficult to see.
The cross Jesus carries through the streets of Jerusalem weighs more than 300 pounds.
When Jesus is carrying the cross, some of the crowd would have been sympathetic, and others were jeering. It would have been a really horrible scene.
As he was pushed through the streets, it's believed that the weight of the cross became too much for Jesus to bear.
At some point, the soldiers solicit Simon of Cyrene to carry the cross for him. This isn't out of the goodness of their hearts. We have to assume that Jesus is flagging. He's unable to carry the cross at this stage. He's that weakened. And this is why Simon of Cyrene is brought in to help him.
Two criminals are crucified alongside Jesus.
They throw him on the ground, they're talking to him as roughly as possible. And they're showing him he has no protection.
Father, forgive them. They do not know what they are doing.
Every part of the crucifixion experience was meant to cause further agony, further humiliation, and more fear and horror among those watching.
At the crucifixion, we know that there was Mary, Jesus' mother, and Mary Magdalene watching that horrendous scene unfold.
If you were one of Jesus' sympathizers, if you were family or a friend of Jesus, then it must have been incredibly difficult to witness this event.
And he sees this big spike, and they're holding his arm out, and he's straining to pull his hand away. And they strike. Then he's raised up, and imagine the agony being raised up after your feet and your hands are nailed in. Every little movement is agony. The cross was lifted up by ropes, and then dropped into a hole to keep it from falling. Imagine what that's like.
One of the difficulties with imagining crucifixion is that we've had 2,000 years of Christian tradition, which sanitizes the cross. We put Jesus in nice church buildings and we have crosses made of gold, and it prevents us from really thinking through what crucifixion actually involved. But when we actually pause and actually look at the historical nature of the crucifixion and remember what the Romans were trying to do by humiliating and torturing people, then for a moment we really see it as something quite different.
The weight of the body pulls on the arms, making breathing increasingly difficult. Most victims of crucifixion finally die of asphyxiation.
It's finished.
Imagine your mother or your father or your best friend nailed to wood, hung out in the open sun, and die. A terrible death of asphyxiation. It's hard to find words to explain what it would have been like to see that.
This had to be the darkest moment of their life.
In the Gospel of John, a soldier stabs Jesus' dead body in the side. Blood and water leak out. Jesus is resurrected. The only thing left behind in his tomb, the linen used to cover his body.
The crucifixion is among the most powerful parts of the gospel simply because it's the death of Jesus, the Son of God, but it's also his entree into new life.